What's up, Panda dudes? Peter Von Panda here. Hey, I want to show you my Eton FRX2 radio, charger, solar powered portable battery, flashlights, hand crank dynamo, etc., etc. Kind of an all-in-one emergency device. I've had this for a while. I just thought about showing it to you now. And the reason why I have it is because it does a lot of stuff, particularly if you have a power outage or are camping. This is something that you can kind of throw in your pack and take with you. And it does a lot of stuff. It doesn't do any of them really, really well, but in a pinch, to be able to get some radio or to charge your cell phone, or to have a little light in darkness can be a lifesaver. Now, I did a review on my Brookstone portable power unit, and that is kind of like this, but to a massive extent, and I love that device. I keep it in the house because that's something I can charge laptops and iPads and everything with, but this one is pretty small. It's about the size of like an iPhone 5, obviously a couple inches thick though. I tried looking up the specs on how big the battery is in this thing. It's a nickel metal hydride, I believe. I don't think it's particularly big. My guess is it would be in the 1,000 milliamp range, maybe a couple thousand on the high end, because it's not very heavy, and nickel metal hydrides tend to be a little heavier and bulkier. A couple things that I'll just point out is, it's pretty blocky. It's plastic. It doesn't feel really heavy. It's probably pretty easy to carry around. Looks like there's a crystalline solar cell here. Probably does not produce a lot of power, but in a pinch you can leave it out in the sunlight, and I believe by the specs 10 to 12 hours will give you a couple hours of light radio playing. The button here for turning on the flashlight is right there. 3 LED bulbs, so that's pretty bright. A pretty ample flashlight. I believe this border right around here, this plastic, is glow in the dark. So exposed to bright light, it should glow a little bit. It'll help you find it. The extendable radio antenna here, which actually does work, and given the radio components as I've tested them, that's something you'll want to use and kind of fool around with when you're trying to tune into a radio station, particularly if you're far away. And then on the front is where you have all kind of those major controls. So you have your radio dial here. It is kind of accurate. I mean, it's not super accurate, but it'll kind of get you in the ballpark. Battery charging indicator, the little green lights will go on here. Weather band, and then the tuner for the radio. Power on with the volume button, which goes all the way around. I was actually able to find a radio station here, and I wasn't actually sure which station this is. Oh, yeah! But that's on FM. It's a little hard to see there. And you just turn this knob to go to AM. And you turn this to go to these weather band 1, 2, 3. And so these are all the NOAA weather bands. I won't get to sell yet. But that's how you change those. My issue with it is this inner knob is what you use to tune the station. And it actually is a little tough sometimes as you're knocking this around. That you move this too. So if you really kind of dial into a station you like, it's actually not super easy to assume that you can go right back to the FM, turn it on, and be at that station, because you're often turning these. Now, I understand you're kind of working within the constraints and the ergonomics of a small device here, and trying to put a lot of controls into kind of a single simpler control, but it's a little bit difficult. Now, the last thing here is the part right there that says cell. When you line that up with the indicator there, it basically powers on this USB port. So I can take, say, my lightning cable here, and you plug it in, and then you plug in your device. And I'm going to show you, I've got my iPad mini out here, and I did that for a reason. You want to make sure the radio's turned off, and then you want to rotate this all the way to cell. And boom, you can see my iPad mini says it's receiving charge. But now it also says this accessory may not be supported. This, oops, sorry about that. This lightning cord I know is a manufacturer approved lightning cable, but and it works fine on, I found on iPhone, so presumably iPads. What I think is the draw is too high. This isn't outputting enough power to register. I kind of have this theory that it actually might be kind of very, very slowly trickle charging something to it, but I can't prove that yet. But it should be good enough for cell phones and small electronic devices. Now, to turn that off, you just move it back off of that cell indicator there. But it does work fine with iPhones and smaller devices. But anything from an iPad mini up, like I said, I had problems with. Now, beneath this rubber cover here, you'll also see that you have a headphone jack, your standard 3.5 millimeter, and then you also have this mini, not micro, USB port, and that is for charging it to a regular 110 volt outlet. It does not come, or mine at least did not come with a charger. Now, mini USB cables are easy to find, not as easy as they once were because micro USB is a little bit more the standard. But I was able to find this charger on eBay. The cool thing about it is it's only a mini USB charger, but it has deployable prongs here for outlets. It has a deployable arm here for a cigarette lighter. In a true survival or kind of an emergency situation, you know, and charging this up, it's not going to be really great to have the cable but not the right adapter. So this was kind of cool, and I actually have this tied to the lanyard, this little pouch where I keep it, so it's all always together in one spot, and it does have a lanyard here. So this little rubber cover will protect these power outlets or these outlets from dust and a little bit of water, but I certainly don't think it's waterproof. Now, the last thing I'll show you here is the swing out arm for the Dynamo. You can charge this. It says about 5 minutes of cranking will give you about, I think it said 10 to 15 minutes of talk time, an hour or so of low radio playing, or you know, flashlight. So you do have to charge it. You can feel the resistance. It's not too hard. I don't know what the acceptable upper band, usually the resistors, so really cranking it really fast doesn't really do much because the battery can only accept a certain amount of charge at a time. But my guess is 1 to 2 revolutions a second is kind of its max. But I've noticed that even after cranking it, you do get light right away, especially when I had this thing sitting for months and months without using it, and it wouldn't power on the flashlight at all. I cranked it for literally, you know, 10-15 seconds, and the light came on just like that. So, but to get a really good charge, you're probably gonna have to charge it longer, especially into the wall, or if you're camping or something, you can just leave it on the sun. But the FRX2 is a great compromise, I thought. Small, portable, does a lot of stuff, doesn't charge everything in the world, doesn't excel or make mincemeat of every task, but it does enough in a variety of things and is portable enough to kind of be that one device if you're looking to buy it. Something that does this is kind of the one you want. And for $40 retail-ish, a little less if you can find them used. There are a couple different co-branded versions from Eton, including, I believe, Red Cross. So they're all roughly the same. But I like it. It's not something I use every day, but it is something, especially if you go on a day hike or go traveling, camping, take it with me all the time. For the Eton FRX2, this has been Peter Von Panda. Out!